Hello and welcome to the first recorded segment of my Gauge 1 Thomas project. It's mostly been pictures thus far because, well, it really hasn't been that interesting. It's just cutting and scribing styrene to the right size and gluing it in place, but figured I might as well record some of it. So at the moment, I'm taking the flash off this thing, which will get glued into the coal bunker so that once I've made the cab back and sides and the rear of it, when my 1mm styrene arrives, man, the UK post is slow, I'll be able to actually fill it with coal rather than just filling the giant cavity that is the rest of the body, which will house the electronics, the micro servos, the radio receiver, so on and so forth. So, yeah, it's just a steel ruler, a knife, a giant sheet of plastic, and about 3 tons of super glue. You do not want to know how much I've used on this project. I think it's probably going to cost me more in super glue than anything else. But you're often my slightly MacGyvered tripod. Ooh, stay. It is actually broken at the moment, my tripod, but it works. Yeah. Hello, hands. Yes, that'll do. You can see that way. At least I think you can see, because I can't see the camera. Best way of getting flash and remnants in a relatively smooth surface on plastic, especially styrene, is just running the edge of the knife over it. It'll pull anything off and it'll round edges over pretty quick. Which is very useful. Not that much. Okay, that much works. Not what I intended. I should have test fitted this before I put glue on it, but I like to live dangerously. And it's worked so far. The lid's run away. Oh no, it hasn't. Just the rest of the plastic. Right, so all that's set, so I'll give you a grand tour of everything else. And what I've done so far. If we move the bloody tripod, hang on. the handle on the extension is broken, so I've just got to kind of force it down. It doesn't really work all that well, and occasionally that happens. Which is like exciting, I suppose. I've probably said that far too many times in my life, but hey, here we are. Come on. There we go. Hey, there we go. Don't need these for now. Don't need this. Or this. Don't want any of that. Don't need this. Just move the tripod to a slightly better position. Then I will actually be able to do something with it. So here is a Gauge 1 Thomas. Or what will become one. They're absolutely huge. Got a tape measure here. They're nearly a foot long, about 10 inches once you've finished them. 5 inches high with a chassis and about 3 inches wide. They are not the smallest of things, but I think only Percy is smaller than Thomas in the Gauge 1 series. Well, unless you count the narrow gauge engines, but they're O gauge. That's getting technical. So at the moment it's in 3 pieces. Body, for the splashes, left and right, and the chassis, or running board if you want to be really pedantic. Start with the body. The funnel is a Sharpie. And the dome is a Sharpie. I'm not joking, it's literally just Sharpie. Like the, why did they make the lid so tight? The ring around the funnel is the top edge of a Sharpie. It is out of focus, come on, that doesn't help me. There we go. Yeah, the top edge of a Sharpie for the ring. The dome is the round end of a Sharpie with the edge of the cap pressed over it and formed with milliput. And once you've cut about that much off it, the funnel is made out of the rest of it, and that top ring, I don't think I have the remains of it anywhere, but you get the general idea. Boiler is a piece of 42mm PVC pipe. It should be 40mm, but I didn't have any, so yeah, it works. With large holes cut into it. The splashes are actually made out of the offcuts from the inside of it, and the front of the running board is this part. There's not a lot of waste in these projects. Most of the offcuts are usually too small to bother saving. The tanks and the smoke box saddle are just 3mm styrene. It's all filled with milliput. And in a serious twist of irony, much like the original prop, the funnel of my Thomas is kinked ever so slightly to his right. If you don't believe me, I've printed it out so I can actually have something to work with. Here he is. As you can see, his is far more pronounced than mine, but it's still there. Not a lot else on this, it's just kind of sits here. The chassis was an interesting one. Running board, not chassis, get it right. It is a really weird shape to try and cut out, especially freehand. Which is why I wanted to print out of it, so I had something to trace. Without that, I really wouldn't have attempted this. But it turned out okay, and I just had to cut. Well, I didn't actually cut any holes in it. This is all made of pieces. As you can see, there's seam lines everywhere, but you're never going to see them. So, as I say, the slope of the curve of the running board is PVC pipe. Everything else is sheet styrene. There's holes for the splashes, for the wheels. I haven't glued. Oh, it's running away. I haven't glued them on yet, so that it's easier for me to fill. which it's had its first coat of filler at the moment. Waiting for it to dry. Well, it has dried. Waiting for it to cure a bit further so I can sand it some more. And the only thing I've actually put on here is the coal bunker, because it's literally just a cube and I need something to build it onto. Because I've got more styrene to form around it when it arrives. And that's, yeah, the splashes, they're just PVC pipe that I've bent outwards slightly. Fill the sheet styrene. And then just put it all together with a little bit of care and ignorance. And there you have the Gauge 1 Thomas body. That's where we stand at the moment. I'm currently waiting on the post to deliver some 3mm, not some 1mm styrene for the cab front, back, sides. No, I can show you. I'm waiting on some 1mm, get it right, 1mm styrene for the cab front, the cab doors and sides, the coal bunker, and what was the other one? Something else I needed it for, I'm sure of it. It'll come back to me. Ah, that's it, cab roof. And the buffers. And I've found, I'm not sure if it's what they used originally. I think the original ones used Marklin parts mostly, but I've found some that look incredibly close, which are Gauge 1 LMS coach buffers. And they are brass and aluminium cast and turned, and they're sprung, which is even better. Then after that, all I'm going to have to do is figure out the couplings, which I'm probably going to have to make myself. So I've got a test one here, which is made out of some 1.5mm soft iron wire. I need to get the rest of it done. I need access to a lathe, which I haven't got at the moment, so that'll have to wait for a while. Yeah, this is where we stand at the moment. It's all coming together. After I've got a half dozen more coats of filler on it and the buffers, I'll be able to paint it, and then the real fun begins. And then all I need after that is some lining tape. We'll get to that bridge. I'll cross that bridge when we come to it.